Hey everybody, I'm attorney Mike Contant. A question I get asked all the time is which breathalyzer test should I refuse? So I'm going to keep it simple. You refuse them all. It's just saying no anytime anyone offers you any type of breathalyzer test or field sobriety test or asks you to consent to a search. That's the simple answer. But for when you're on the road and you get pulled over by the police, it's good to understand the different types of tests that are available as well as what you should do. Now, the first type of breathalyzer test is what they call a portable breath test. That's where it's a device, it's a little bigger than a cell phone. The police have it in their cars. They often will ask people, after they've asked them to step out of their car, to blow into this device. Now, this is called a portable breath test. In Massachusetts, this test is not admissible in court. So while I still think you should always refuse this test, it's not going to hurt you at trial because the courts will not recognize it as reliable and therefore it's not admissible. Okay. The other type of breathalyzer test is the one after you get arrested, after you put back in the police car, brought to the station. They ask you to blow into this device at the station. It looks like about the size of a printer. It's got the tube coming out of it, and they have you blow into it. Okay, that's the actual breathalyzer test in Massachusetts. Okay, that one is admissible in court. And the problem with this test is that it's not particularly scientifically reliable. We found lots of issues with false tests over the years. There's been litigation a couple of years ago in Massachusetts. It was a litigation called the Ananias litigation, and that challenged both the scientific reliability of the test as well as the standards by which the state actually certified the machines. Unfortunately, the court did find that the test met the reliability standards, so they're still going to be admissible in court. They did exclude the test for a couple of years because of all the problems that were discovered through that litigation with the Office of Alcohol Testing, which is the group that's supposed to calibrate and certify these machines as reliable. However, as of April 17, 2019, these tests are now admissible in court again. The state lab has become certified so that the courts are satisfied that their calibration processes and procedures are good, and therefore they're admissible again. That test, the problem with this test is Massachusetts, other than the scientific problems of the test and the problems of calibration, which we still think are out there, the other issues with this test are that Massachusetts is a per se state, meaning that if you're pulled over for drunk driving, and there's two ways that they can prove that you were drunk. One is just by the officer's observations. That's one way they can try to do it, by the field sobriety test and all the observations of you through those. The second way they can do it is simply by, if you blow a .08 or above, that is considered another way to prove your guilt for a drunk driving offense. So the test itself can be essentially the only evidence that the jury needs to convict you of this charge. Many juries like to rely on the science because they think it's reliable, the courts are using it, so why not? Our advice to you is simply don't take it. Now, that advice does come with a caveat. You will lose your license. For a first offense drunk driving offense, if you do refuse a breathalyzer test, you're going to lose your license for 180 days, approximately 6 months. However, losing the license is far better than having this conviction. This test will, in many cases, will result in a conviction for drunk driving, which we want to avoid. So our advice under all circumstances is simply don't take any breathalyzer test, but particularly the one they offer to you back at the police station. Just say no. It's your right to refuse. You are going to lose your license, but we're going to have a much better time with your case in court if you do refuse this test. If you have any questions about this or any breathalyzer test, anything related to drunk driving, please feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email.